Howdy guys, it's Joe here today talking to you guys why I hate Tracer, another character that's a flanker like Sombra that focuses straight up on the back line. And that's where the majority of my hate comes for this character. Now of course, as always, this is just talking from my own experiences, what has annoyed me as a tank slash support player the most, and you know, might not always apply in every situation to whatever you're doing. And of course I don't completely hate the character, just certain parts of their kits I don't love the best, and I've had some bad experiences with certain parts of the character and certain parts of the player base. So I'm not trying to attack all you guys that play this person, just attacking certain things about the person, I guess. Anyways, with that said, I feel like with Tracer, it's one of those characters that is just really annoying to play against, and especially in the current meta that we're at. Right now, she's a very good character, and I feel like that's an okay thing. I want the different DPS to cycle from good to bad, and you know, for it to change up a little bit. Tracer's been pretty decent for a while. For a while, she was pretty bad, but she has been decent, and right now, with the great dive comp, we're seeing a lot of this character. What's annoying, though, is that her counters don't really work at all. Of course, some people think that Winston kind of counters her, but that doesn't really work way too well. She can just maul straight through you and kind of ignore you. Other than that, some people believe that people like Roadhog counter you as they can hook you, but technically if you have good enough reaction speeds and if you actually know where they are, the hook shouldn't ever hit. And then of course some people say that McCree can counter you, but the only problem is Tracer actually has a pretty decent time to kill speed as compared to McCree. Tracer can flank around McCree, and of course, McCree really can't kill her way too easily unless you are a godlike McCree. And even in that case, if the placer's playing really well, and if he happens to press the E button and teleport backwards after you land one headshot, well, you're not going to die, and you can't really shoot fast enough to kill the Tracer before that. Overall, it's kind of weird what it is right now, and Tracer can overall dominate quite well, which is, I guess, a good thing for the Tracer player, but kind of annoying for people that are trying to play characters that are supposed to counter her, but that don't really in this current meta. Of course, that might go away, and these characters did counter her for a while, especially McCree. When that guy was good, Tracer was essentially unplayable. And by good, I mean when he was overpowered. But now, you know, everything's going decently. Another thing I hate about Tracer, though, at least from my own experiences, is playing support versus a Tracer. Now of course, when you have a Tracer on your team, it's kind of nice, you know, they do kill themselves quite a bit. Of course, a lot of them aren't the best at the game, and a lot of them just go a little bit too offensive and go in when your team's not actually going in and try to get picks up by themselves, which isn't that great. But when the Tracer on the enemy team is coming after you as a support, it's just one of the most annoying things you can do. There's not way too much that you can actually do to, you know, kill this character. Unless you're Zenyatta and happen to get a Discord orb and then 2 headshots, you pretty much just have to take the pain and hope that one of your tanks quickly comes back to you. The problem is that since her time to kill is so short, and if the Tracer player is very good, they can essentially just one-pop you, and there you go, you're out of there. And the majority of the time, Tracer just going to be jumping in with her team. Your team is probably not going to be actually trying to protect you as a support, and you're just going to overall just die. And that's something that's not always the most fun thing to have to deal with. Of course, a lot of the people can do this, and a lot of the other flankers, you know, are built to do this. But I feel like Tracer in particular, being able to get in and get out so fast, and of course be able to chase you so well as a support, it can be one of the most annoying characters to face against. Of course, she is one of the easiest characters to kill, so especially as someone like Lucio, it can make it actually kind of easy at times because she has to get to such low health so quickly that you can do okay. But when you are playing someone like Mercy or when you're playing someone like Zen, and especially as Zen when you can't land those shots immediately, that can be a bit of a pain. And I guess I'd finally kind of like to complain a little bit about that Tracer ultimate. Mainly because I've been seeing it used so wrong for so long by so many players. Now of course, me personally, I don't really like to play Tracer way too much. She's not exactly my cup of tea, and I'll leave it to people that like playing the character. But so many people just don't hit this ultimate, and they don't combo with their teammates' ultimates. They go off around the side and try to use it to get a solo kill by themselves, and often that won't really work. And as well, often it's a better idea, if you're actually just in a 1v1 situation, to try to just shoot the other person in the neck / the head, get a lot of headshots and get through them pretty much just as fast as you using your ultimate. If you find a support off by themselves, don't ult them just because your ult is up. You can save that and use that in a team fight and win your team a lot of team fights, or at least get yourself a lot of damage on the enemies with your ultimate. I don't know why, but I feel like so many people just happen to waste this thing. And of course, also, being solo ulted by Tracer is kind of cancerous to deal with. I don't like that, so please stop it. Especially when I'm dead and I'm not even doing anything. I was just straight out of spawn. That's a thing I have to say as well. The spawn camping with Tracer right now. That is so good. It's been so good and competitive for a little while. Not way too many people do it, but the people that do it and that are good at Tracer and can spawn camp you and can just get a ton of time, those guys are as well probably one of the most annoying things about this character, and probably one of the strongest things about her right now. But anyways, that's at least my own personal opinions about Tracer, and I would like to hear your own in the comments section down below. What do you think about Tracer that is annoying, or that you dislike, or that has been a bit troublesome to you? Especially you support players, as I feel like Tracer will particularly target a lot of you guys. Anyways, as always, I still do think the character is pretty fun. Probably one of the funnest offense heroes in my opinion, just not somebody that I would personally play way too much. Anyways, as always guys, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did like, make sure to hit that like button. And as always, have a wonderful day.